NBA STRAYA. How are you going? Hang on. I hope you're all right. You should be. Why is that, Jim Ward? It's Friday. TGIF, am I right? December 20. No doubt you've done very little work all week. You might have taken next Monday and Tuesday off, so hopefully you're strapped in for a big Chrissy season. I am your host, James Clements. You can also see me on the panel, the official NBL Supercoach show. You can also see me in the AFL Today show, NFL Australia, all the good stuff, obviously. I'll tell you that much. Here in LAYUP Studios, geez, that light's a bit bright. I'll tell you, I better fix that. Oh, it's a bit better. It is bloody hotter than a Hillsong Senate inquiry right now. It is unbelievable. Still, in LAYUP Studios, we've got 13 games to talk out today, which is very, very fun and very exciting. We've got a massive Bulls upset. We've got a 51-point down from the Grizz and an all-time Spud outing for the Warriors. We had a Nets come back up in Canada. The Wizards got a win. We had Cats revenge. A Hawks Wizards overtime thriller. A game winner in the Blazers Nuggets. DEvin Booker got hurt, and they just can't play like a game together. The big three for the Suns. We've got the latest on Josh Giddey's injury. We've got the Hall of Fame class announced. All the latest news, all that good stuff. Wrap up all the games. We've got That's Not an iPhone, made no made Spud of the night better than Lonzo Ball. We've got Magic Tweet of the Week. What else? Dickhead of the Week. We'll rehash that from the other day. We've got some YNRs, some listener YNRs, which is always good. The Unpopular Opinion of the Day in Outback Takehouse. We're serving up a flame-grilled take. And we might just throw in a quick, great moment in NBA Australia stat history, which is just, I don't know, an interesting little blip that I wanted to bring up. And then we'll pick and preview the entire weekend after we do the STRAYAN Player Watch. A few of the Aussies in action today, so that'll be very fun. But a big weekend ahead. Really strange one. There's like, yeah, I'll talk about that later. But anyway, strap in. Let's get into it. Episode 1180 of NBA STRAYA. Let's go!
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Darcy Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
Hi, this is Ryan Brockhoff.
This is Mitch Creek. This is Nick Kay.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And 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 you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening and watching NBA Australia.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shack attack.
You bet, especially if that Christmas tree, Kenny the Jet Smith on the inside of the NBA set, gets walloped every year. You'd think you'd learn, wouldn't you? But also, you better watch out for the Chuck attack, I guess, if you're Christmas. Christmas Chuck is it's for kids and not for adults. It's like, what are you talking about? Americans are all just completely rooted in their head, aren't they? Like, almost without fail. Including my mates who are still over there. Like, God love you, but I think you're all just rooted in the head. And Shaq also sort of, went in big weird ramble over Karl Anthony Towns. Pretty strange. They were winning a title anyway. They made the Western Conference Finals last year, that Wolves team, and they blew it all up. I'm just saying, bit weird. Anyway, let's start today's show the way we start every show. It's with some sort of, I believe, a whip around. Oh, there it is. That's right, Josh. Giddy up. He has some swelling and soreness from that ankle injury. So he twisted his ankle the other day. Billy Donovan said that they don't expect it to be a long-term issue, so he was out today, and that's about all they've given us in terms of an update. So, I don't know. That's probably pretty good if you're a Bulls fan. At the same time, without Josh Giddey today, they just absolutely waxed the Celtics, so here we are. Cool. Bit of a weird one. So he could be, apparently he came out and said that he's as hopeful to return as early as next week against the Bucks. So that'd be very, very, very fun for all the Aussie Josh Giddey fans out there and the Bulls fans. Nice. Outside of that, what was the other news? Joel Embiid, if you're a Sixers fan. So he's participated in team practice the last couple of days. Apparently he's going to be reevaluated. He's questionable for tomorrow's game against the Charlotte Hornets. who will be on a back-to-back. Just saying. Isaac Okoro, this sucks. He sprained his right shoulder for my beloved Cleveland. They're not even my beloved Cleveland Cavaliers. I just like pressing the Cleveland button. Cleveland! Yeah. Isaac Okoro. Again, so talk about like, and obviously I mentioned DEvin Booker at the top. I'll get to that in a second. Talk about just not being able to get any sort of clear air with your wings. Like Cleveland, just time after time after time. Time after time. If you need a wing and you need an injury, time after time. They'll get injured like every bloody time. That's what happens to our beloved Cleveland. So Okoro, a couple of weeks out with the sprained right shoulder. Hey, but we got some other players back today, like Nurkic, pretty good. Brad Beal did play for the Suns. And then, of course, we just can't have nice things. If you're a Phoenix fan, you're like, dude, what the hell? So Brad Beal comes back, and what happens to DEvin Booker? He goes out in the third quarter with a groin strain after twisting his ankle earlier in the game. You just can't take a trick, can you, the Suns? KD comes back. You're like, all right, now we're good. We've got our big three. Oh, God. It's like between Philly, Phoenix, just basically everybody else. The Pelicans, obviously. It's just some of them just can't take an absolute trick this year. Anyway, other little bits of news. Greg Oden is going to be going back to Portland for the first time in over a decade between Christmas and New Year's, which is very cool. He's going to be courtside for the December 28 game over there. That's kind of nice. I do like that he's, it's written out that it's like he's expected to share his story with players and staffers over how he overcame some difficult obstacles. Were the obstacles his knees? But I guess like he's been a big sort of proponent of dealing with the mental health battles that he went through. And so that'd be interesting. Got a soft spot for old Greg Oden. That's just one of the great sort of weird, because it's such a kind of shitty, sad story where he just kind of kept getting hurt and never once came close to living up to his potential, apart from one little run there with the Blazers where he looked unreal and then got hurt again. It's a story that's weirdly uncovered. So it sort of stinks. Hey, LeBron James also hates the All-Star game. Our game, there's a lot of fucking threes being shot, so it's a bigger conversation than just the All-Star game. All right. How about you take a bit of a fucking leadership stance there, LeBron, and make him play a bit fucking harder? You sook. No, yeah, there's too many threes. Is that right, LeBron? Thanks for chirping up. The all-tournament team from the NBA Cup was announced in a surprise twist. It was all from the Final Four, which just makes sense. Giannis, SGA, Dame, Şengün, and Trae Young. That's nice. A couple of bucks there, obviously, because they won it. And that's the NBA Cup all-tournament team. That is the most pointless accolade, but anyway. And before we get into the game wraps, franchise valuations are out there at the moment as well, which is very interesting. Golden State, apparently... Well, all right, we'll start with the average. Apparently, the average NBA franchise is currently worth $4.6 billion. That's up 15% since last year and double from 4 years ago. Absolute chaos. So I still remember Josh Harris and co. buying the Sixers for what seemed like a vaguely insane, $220 million. And then a year or two later, Joe Lacob and co. buying the Warriors for $450 million. And everyone's like, that is insane. What an overpay. Now the average is 4.6 bill. They've doubled in 4 years. And the Golden State Warriors are now the number one most valuable NBA franchise, worth a whopping $9.14 billion. That is insane. Ahead of the Knicks at 8.3, the Lakers 8.07, the Nets at 5.7. It's a big drop off, but the Nets are right there because of the sheer market size. The Clippers at 5.6, same sort of vibe. Our good Steve Ballmer is like, man, I bought these guys for $2 billion. I spent $1.5 billion building my arena, and I'm still $2 billion ahead. That's insane. The Boston Celtics are 5.6. I reckon they'd sell for a lot more than that if they actually just put them up for sale. The Bulls at 5.5 as well. Same vibe there. The Heat, $5 billion. Houston, 4.7. The Raps, 4.6. People might be surprised by the Raptors at 4.6 billion, but because that ownership is very unique up there in Toronto, where it's owned by the sort of entertainment conglomerate up there that owns the Maple Leafs and stuff. So very interesting. The Hall of Fame eligible candidates were announced as well for the class of 2025. Carmelo Anthony, Sue Bird, Maya Moore, Dwight Howard, Doc Rivers. Now he's won an NBA Cup as well. He's guaranteed. Billy Donovan. It's like, that's because of your college coaching, not your NBA one, just saying. Sylvia Fowles, Chimik, Holdsclaw, Mark Few. There you go, Coach Few. Lisa Bluter, Mark Gasol, Mickey Harrison. Interesting. It's pretty good. Should we get Mello on the old NBA Australia? What do you reckon? Yeah, we should, shouldn't we? Right, let's do some game raps for a big Friday. 13 games. Game raps. Let's do it. Utah upset Detroit Bass. Well, not much of an upset in the end. With Jaden Ivey out, I had already put in my picks this morning and then find out Jaden Ivey's out. I'm like, that's not good. And it looked horrible for most of it because the Yaz ripped off 48 points in the first quarter. Now, Detroit are bad defensively. Didn't think they were give up 48 points in the first quarter to Utah bad, but it turns out they are. The thing is, they then woke up and basically outplayed them the rest of the way. But it's really hard to beat a team if you give them a fucking 30-point head start. So, yeah, they end up getting close, but no cigar. The Pistons at home. This was really disappointing. Cade Cunningham was really good, though. 33, 4, and 7. No other starter in double figures. 26 from Malik Beasley at 7 threes out of 19 tries. Keontae George is really good. 28. He hit 5 threes very early. Ends up 7 of 13 from downtown. 30 for the Sex Man, Colin Sexton. And Larry, he woke up as well. 27 and 14. Probably because he went, hang on a second, who am I playing? Detroit. Oh, yeah, they've got absolutely nobody who can cover me. And Jalen Duren's like, yeah, I can't. Dude, no. I can't do that. John Collins was knocking in threes. He had 16 and 9. He had 6 turnovers as well. This was not a pretty game. There was 27 turnovers for the Yaz. That's how the Detroit Pistons got back into it. But unfortunately, they had Tobias Harris on their team, who stunk it up. Tim Hardaway, who stunk it up. And like basically, because they're playing that little bit small with Tobias Harris and also Thompson at the sort of the 3-4 as your small ball fours next to Duren and Hardaway starting with Cade. Yeah, it's a bit of a tough ask. To go, hey, can you cover Larry Markkinen and John Collins and Walker Kessler? Yeah, it's a bit of a rough one. Should have seen that one coming. My bad. Anyway, 27 and 14 for Larry. He was really good too. So very, very nice win for the Yaz. They are now 6 and 20. The Detroit Pistons are 11 and 17. OKC absolutely came out breathing fire against the Orlando Magic men. SGA had a massive first half. He had 24 points. They got up huge, and then Orlando went, oh, come on, man. Ripped off this huge 20-3 run. OKC settled back into the end of the fourth and sort of just rode a bit of a double-digit lead and cruised until a couple of late buckets managed to make this one cover the pick, which is kind of good. Thank you, Orlando. So they lose by 6. The line was 6.5. You ripper. Suggs. That was the big problem for the Magic men. Jalen Suggs and his 17 minutes. And I'll tell you what, this is a team that just, you want some more like bloody can't take a trick teams when it comes to injuries. Obviously Orlando. Like Jalen Suggs has got like one angle, barely any hair on the top of his head. But anyway, but Jamal Mosley and Jalen Suggs basically yelling at each other and just sort of like sat him down and he rolled his ankle and sort of just came back into it, but he sort of sat the rest of the way. So a bit of a tough one. And Anthony Black basically stepped up for Suggs and was really, really good. So he had 23. It was the absolute Anthony Black show after the Suggs sort of blow up. But anyway, 15 and 10 for Goga. I'm just saying, I called this one yesterday, remember? It's like if Jalen Suggs gets hurt, it would be Goga. And he has 16 and 10, and Anthony Black as well has the 23. The Thunder, SGA finished with 35. He was very, very good. 5 of 15 shooting for 11 points with J-Dub. Isaiah Hartenstein, yes, had, 12 and 12, I want to say. Good fight back from Orlando, but it just wasn't enough. Again, they let OKC dictate terms, smashed him in the second quarter, pulled it back in the third, but then OKC were just too good, too classy down the stretch. That means the Thunder are 21 and 5. Orlando is 17 and 12. Charlotte lost to Washington. What are you doing? What are you doing, Charlotte? Well, they didn't have Brandon Spindles-Miller, who was actually way more important to your team than you think. And also, they couldn't hit a fucking 3. 8 of 43 from downtown. 8 of 43. 8 of 43. Hey, do you want to know how many of those LaMelo shot? He shot 3 of 18 from downtown. They went at an 18.63% clip. That is, Adam Silver is literally there for this game. A day or two after, he's like, yeah, there's a bit of a problem with these threes. And then LaMelo's like, you reckon there's a problem? Then, check out this one. 3 of 18. You are fucking off your rocker, mate. 11 of 32 overall. He was just absolutely shithouse. No Miller for the Hornets, and it just sort of is a really good balance for LaMelo, right? Like we've seen LaMelo and Miles Bridges before last year, and, well, at different times. And LaMelo's just a bit shit. You put Miller next to him, and he's substantially more, I don't know, he's got the release valve of Miller. He plays a little bit more under control, but 11 of 32 is just absurd and gross. Miles Bridges and Mark Williams both had 16 and 8, which is kind of weird, but nothing else going. 17 of 42 from downtown for the Wizards, the worst team in the NBA. Kicked the piss out of Charlotte. Poole had 27, Brogdon 25 and 6. Alexander Sarr had his best game, 19, 9 and 5. Had the dagger 3 late after Charlotte had pushed him back up there. Koulibaly had a sick dunk too, 14, 7, 5 and 2. Charlotte at 7 and 20, basket case, and the Wizards are now 4 and 21. Then the big upset, Chicago, 117, 108. This game was awesome, really tight all the way through the first couple of quarters. Chicago still up 3 at the half, still up 4 going into the fourth quarter. And Chicago's like size on the defensive end, so with AO and Levine out there as well, they were just making a shit ton of shots, and the Celtics couldn't buy a 3. And you're like, oh, so it happens, right? Chicago aren't that good. We understand this. But then they go on this incredible run in that fourth quarter. AO hits a 3 and a layup. THT hits a 3 and then another bucket. And he's like, that's a weird 10-point swing. Julian Phillips hit a 3 and you're like, holy shit, Chicago are winning. They're up 7 and they never looked back. Like, there was all this yelling where Joey Muzz gets a tech. Levine hits 2 tech fouls and then a 3. And that's like, holy shit, was that a 5-point play? Bloody hell. Patch hits a 3. There's another big Levine bucket late and away we go. Vooch hits the killer shot, puts them up 10 with 1:20 to go. And you're like, oh my God, they're going to win this fucking game. And the Celtics are busy yelling at the refs. They're at home. And it's just, it was a fucking train wreck. And you're like, geez, it must have been pretty bad for the Celtics not having Jason Tatum. He played! He had 31, 10, and 4. Like, he and the Extreme Zinger Meal.
Extreme Zinger Meal.
Your only good players. 19 and 4 for Jaylen Brown, but he shot 7 of 17 and 1 of 8 from 3. Tatum, the 31, 10, and 4. Extreme Zinger Meal had the 20 and 8. Pritch, he had 4 of 10 from 3, had 14 points. Derek White went 3 of 12 from downtown. He had 16, 8, and 4 overall, but they just looked discombobulated. And as a team, 14 of 56 from 3. So this is one of those things where you talk about the margin for error when you're shooting threes. It should lessen that, right? But then when you get the extreme result on one end, the outlier result of like, oh God, we couldn't hit a 3 at all today, you lose. When you hit all of them, you win a lot. And if you hit more of them than often, then away you go. But Chicago, I mean, Levine was incredible. 36, 6, and 4. Shot 11 and 19. Vooch was handy, 16, 4, and 4 as well. AO was handy. Kobe was good. So 17 for AO. Kobe with 12, 6, and 3. And without Giddey, like, Lonzo couldn't hit a fucking shot. So that wasn't really the thing. It was just more that the offense sort of sang, and there was, like, they were basically just like, fuck it, clear out. Like, let Levine cook. Let him create. And if it's not him, it'll be AO. And it worked. So great job by Chicago. They're now 13 and 15. They desperately needed that. And 21 and 6 for Boston. Brooklyn pulled off a big comeback, 101-94 over Toronto. Scotty Barnes came back, but Toronto didn't have RJ, Emmanuel Quickley, Teenage Mutant Yucca Purtle, just a bunch of dudes. And they had the sick Raptors court with the dunking Raptor in the middle of it. It looked unreal. And wow, did Toronto blow this game. It was like a 31-18 fourth quarter. Cam Johnson just goes off his head. Ben Simmons was shredding them, looking as good as he's looked for fucking years. And the Raps had no answer. 19 points for Grady Dick. Scoob had 16, 3, and 6 in his first game in a couple of weeks. Okja Agbaji had 20. They got fuck all else. Cam Johnson had 33, 10, and 6. He was unreal late. We'll talk about he and Levine a bit in a second. Simo had 12, 5, and 7 with 5 turnovers, but Brooklyn, with absolutely no one outside of Johnson really doing too much, it's a big win. They're 11 and 16. I don't know how many more games they're going to win, So you take them when you can get them, I guess. Toronto, this is panic station. 7-21, they can't get healthy either. Add them to the list of fucked up by injury teams. New Orleans got stomped by Houston 113, 133, asking from the get-go. 39-25 first quarter, and it never got close. Trey Murphy had 28, CJ had 18, but he took 17 shots. DeJounte had 14 points on 12 shots, and yeah, the Pelicans are bad. Rockets hit 17 of 39 from downtown and shot 57.5% from the floor. Not bloody bad, I'll tell you that much. Jalen Green had 34. I love that. It's like, hey, Jalen Green, it's a meaningless game against New Orleans. And he's like, check this out, 34 points on your head on 22 shots. And you're like, fucking hell, is he good? And then it's like, hey, Jalen Green, it's a big important game. He's like, just shit down my pants. Dylan Brooks hit 6 of 10 from deep. He had 26 and 7. Alpi Şengün, 23, 9 and 7. Fred VanVleet, 13. Jabari, 15. They had everybody was good against this horrible Pelicans team. They're 5-23 now, the Pels. Houston, 8-19. Then the historic shit pumping. Memphis, 144-93. Absolutely nailed this pick because, as mentioned, Dennis Schroeder hates the Memphis Grizzlies. They were barking at them the other day, and the Grizzlies came out, absolutely fucking curb stomped them. Santi Aldama, Jake LaRavia. It wasn't even Ja Morant, Desmond Bain, and Triple J. It was the bench. The bench, what was it, 82 bench points for the Grizzlies to 28 points for the Golden State starters. Yeah. Flip it up and reverse it. Unbelievable. An all-time shit pumping. Wiggins had 19 for the Warriors. Pods had 21 and 6. All garbage time, it felt like. Nothing else. 2 points for Steph, 0 for Draymond. We'll talk about them in a little bit, but wow. What a statement from Memphis. It's like, hey, remember how you keep little brothering us and like Draymond always keeps talking shit? Well, fuck you. Bang. Draymond had a 0, 0, and 0. That is pretty amazing. It's an all-time Spud-worthy effort. We'll talk about that in a second. The Grizzlies went 27 of 48 from downtown. That is a franchise record. 56%. Not bloody bad. Triple J, 17, 6 and 5. 21 for Santi Aldama. 19 and 6 for Jake LaRavia. Desmond Bain at the 15, but it was all their bench. Absolute curb stomped them. Amazing gear. Great job, Memphis. 14 and 12 now, the Warriors. It is almost panic stations. They moved Cumdog Millionaire, Johnny Cumbucket, back to the bench. They started Schroeder, and it did not work. 19 and 9 from Memphis, second best team in the West. Atlanta, San Antonio played a wildly entertaining game. This goes to overtime, 133-126. Wemby goes off his fucking head. What a game. I love this court. I love the Sohan hair as well. The mix of them together is just like, this is great. But this was also a wildly entertaining game. You've got Trey Young, Jalen Johnson, DeAndre Hunter, Dyson Daniels causing all sorts of havoc up against Devin Vassell, Wemby, and Sohan, and it delivered. Chris Paul was really good, but Trey Young had 23 and 16 assists. They had 22 turnovers, did the Hawks. It was brutal. But they hit 16 and 38 from downtown. Spurs went 19 and 42. Not bad. Jalen Johnson, 22, 9 and 3, 3 blocks. He is awesome. 8 of 14 shooting. DeAndre Hunter had 27 and 6. Larry Nance had 21, 13 and 6. I love this Hawks team. Sign me up. Spurs, Wemby, come on, man. He's going to pop up again in a second. 42, 6 and 5 with 4 blocks. Just basketball playing alien pterodactyl. 23 for Vassell, 20.8 rebound, 4 assist effort from Jeremy Sohan. And 12, 7 and 8 with 4 steals for old Chris Paul. 14 and 14 now, the Atlanta Hawks. Perfectly balanced, as everything should be. 14 and 13 for the San Antonio Banderas Spurs. Clippers beat the Mavs. They didn't have Luka or Kyrie. They had no chance in this one. 118-95. This was just a killing. Put up a fight early, and you're like, oh, they might have a chance. And no, big third quarter from the Clippers. And they had a massive second half, in fact. They just ran over. So it was like 68-46 in the second half. Clay had 22, but he had 4 turnovers. PJ was 5. Spencer Dinwiddie, 19 and 7, but he went 0 of 6 from downtown and 6 of 16 overall. Clippers, Norm Powell had 29, continuing his excellent season. James Harden, Fat Man, Hoop Out of Clan, had 24, 5 and 7. Zoobs dominated, though, against that bereft Dallas lineup that's just like, who's doing what? That's exactly how they did it, too. You had Derek Lively out there. He had 13 and 7 with 3 blocks. And then you bring in Gafford for 14 minutes. And Zoob's like, I don't care. 21, 15 and 5. And shot 10 of 13 from the floor. What an effort. That was absolutely unreal. Good stuff by him. 17 and 10 now Dallas dropped to. Not great. Tough loss, that one. 16 and 12 for the Clippers. And I guess like the simple idea of like Luka and Kyrie both being out. Yeah, it's pretty tough to get over that, isn't it? So let's have a look. They just struggled that much offensively. And after a bunch of days off as well, it was a bit of a strange one. Anyway, what can you do? You thought they'd do some just like really strange, janky shit, and it just never quite eventuated. Anyway, Indy beat Phoenix 121-11. Massive third quarter from Indy. Basically, there's a line of demarcation in this game. It was a 2-point game with 8 minutes left in the third quarter. DEvin Booker goes out last point, basically after like a couple more minutes after that, and doesn't return. And then they get smashed from there on out. It was 37-24 in the third quarter, and they ran right over the top of them down the stretch. This is why the trade for Brad Beal, it's, oh, you've got to do it, he's a star. Nah, he's fucking shit. Brad Beal has sucked all the time. He's not a winning player. It's simple as that. And like, this is the thing. It's like, oh, he just came back from injury, Jim. Just settled down. It's like, yeah, DEvin Booker goes out. Brad Beal took 9 fucking shots in this game. Kevin Durant's like, I'm older than the fucking sun. Why am I shooting 27 times, you assholes? He had 37, 10, and 6 did KD. He was unbelievable. Brad Beal's like, hey, I'm Brad Beal. It's like, how much are you getting paid? He's like, I don't care. I've got 16 points and 3 turnovers. You go, you're shit. At least Booker had 17, 2, and 6 in his 25 minutes before he went out. Grayson Allen can't hit a 3 again, which is weird. 0-3 from downtown. He was a plus 19 in his 29 minutes, but yeah, it was, ugh. The Suns are just bad. If they don't have all 3 of those dudes, they're shithouse. They got Nurk back and it was just still. Siakam had 25 and 18. Not a bad rebounding effort from the number 43. 19 and 19 for Turner and Nembhard. Nembhard being back is a big one for the Pacers. 13 and 12 assists for Tyrese Halliburton. 4 of 9, all of which came from downtown. 16 for Benny Mathurin. Nembhard just gives them so much more balance because it means they can have what? Obi Toppin, and also there was a wedgie on the behind the backboard, and he quite literally jumped up and tapped it out. It was like it was stuck at the top of the backboard. It's insane. Go watch it. But yeah, it means you can play TJ and Ben Shepherd off the bench in sort of limited roles, and you can sort of cut your rotation down. You've got Nembhard. It's such a steadying presence. So the Pacers, up to 13 and 15. They're now 5 and 11 and away. The Suns are 14 and 12. This is a rare loss with KD in the lineup. He tried his bloody hardest, but everybody else was shithouse. Knicks, 134. Wolves, 104. Called this. Smoking. Karl Anthony Towns. This one, I'll tell you what. Where do you reckon this one should go? I reckon we might have to send this one somewhere pretty special.
This is going straight to the pool room.
Of revenge. That was amazing. He was absolutely, seriously, he had a rough starting quarter. He had 4 turnovers, didn't turn over again. It was like 32-33 after the first quarter. And then the Wolves scored 41 points in the next 2 quarters. The Knicks scored 41 points in the second quarter alone. It was over with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It was all over. Tibbs even put some bench dudes in at some point. Karl Anthony Towns was still out there. They're up like a billion points, and he's still out there going, oh, should I probably come off? Tibbs is like, no, you aren't. Ant-Man had a rough one, 17 and 7 with 3 steals, but he shot 7 of 14 and just 24 for Randall. No one else did shit. 8 for McDaniels. Gobert got his lunch eaten. He had a minus 37. Career low, I believe. Dante DiVincenzo had 3 of 6 from downtown for his 15, but the Knicks went 20 of 45 from downtown. Not bad. Cat goes a 30, 20, and 6. You're taking the piss, mate. 2 steals, 10 of 12 from the floor, 5 of 5 from downtown. Mikal Bridges has 29, 6, and 6. Brunson, 14 and 7. Precious Achiuwa, bless you, 13 and 10. Josh Hart missed this one for personal reasons. Precious jumps into the starting lineup. They do not miss a beat. That's a big win for the Knicks, 17 and 10. Minnesota, disappointing, 14 and 12. Denver, Portland, oh geez. 124-126. The Blazers win it on Anthony Penny-Simons' game-winning layup over the top of Russell Westbrook. It's such a stupid sentence. But that's where we are. Defensively, Denver, what are you doing on that possession? It's like, oh, we'll leave Russell Westbrook, who's older than fucking Methuselah, alone on an island against Anthony Penny-Simons, who literally just goes around him and throws it high off the glass. Bang, game-winning layup. Jokic should have shaded over earlier, pushed him further away. Jamal Murray thought about coming off his man and should have, because Simons was not giving that ball up. And yeah, this was a dumb loss for the Nuggets. It's a waste of a Jokic game that was insane as well. 34, 5, and 8. They got down. They were down like 14 points going in the fourth quarter. They came all the way back, took the lead, and then blew it down the stretch. Gordon had an open three, completely fucking missed it. In a surprise twist, he was 1 of 6 for the game anyway for his 2 points, but yeesh. Christian Brown had 13, 24 for Jam and Jamal Murray, looked a little bit better. 16 for MPJ, 19 for Rusty, who was, and this is the thing, like I want to rag on Rusty for his horrible defense of the game, but he was the only reason they were in the fucking game. 19, 4, and 7. He got them right back in that. It was really, really fun. They shot 54% from the floor to the Nugs. They allowed this amazingly bad Blazers team to shoot, 16 of 46 from downtown, 47% from the floor, and just got them. 24 free throws to 21, out-rebounded them by 6. The moving of the ball by the Blazers was pretty bloody huge. Incredible game. Chaos game. Stupid loss for the Nuggets. The Blazers, they got 27 from Shaedon Sharpe. He was absolutely unreal. Simons also just slipped on a wet patch later on that just would have fucking knocked me out. 28 and 10 assists for him. 15 and 13 for Ayton. 13 for Jeremiah Grant. Not much of a revenge game from him. Tumani Kamara, 14 and 8. 19 for Denny Avdija off the bench as well. He shot 6 of 9. Nice. From the floor. And Scoot Henderson, yeesh. Burn this one to the ground, folks. 2 of 11. 7 points. Blazers now 8 and 18. Nuggets dropped to 14 and 10. That was a tough one because they win this and they sneak ahead of the likes of Dallas and co in the standings, right? And you're like, ooh, this is a good opportunity. They've fucked it and they've lost to Portland. Brutal. So, yeah, not ideal for the Nugs. Not ideal at all. Anyway, and then we had Lakers-Kings. Lakers sort of ran away with this late. The Kings just looked all out of shape in the second half. They scored 4. So I think my entire point on yesterday's show was the Kings should be able to outscore the Lakers. Turns out they were fucking not. Darren Fox got into foul trouble. Yeah, they kept him in with 4 fouls, or 5-6 minutes to go in the third quarter. And then, he picked up the 5th foul stupidly and wasn't able to come back in. So they scored 42 total points in the second half after ripping off 58 in the first. It was absolutely abysmal basketball. Meanwhile, for the Lakers, Austin Reeves was absolutely fucking carving him up. My favorite thing was watching Max Christie again. He's one of those dudes. He only has 8 points, 2 steals, 4 rebounds, 1 of 3 from the floor, but just made a huge difference for this Lakers team when he's up and about. The same with Rui Hachimura. He had 10, but Austin Reeves obviously had 25, 5, and 5. Come on. It's the Austin Reeves game. LeBron James, 19, 6, and 7. He goes past Kareem as the most minutes all time. You're like, great. So you've been around for ages. And AD, 21, 20, 4 assists, 3 steals, and 6 blocks. It was absolutely absurd how well he was playing in this game. Just blocked one off the bonce of Domantas Sabonis, which is always pretty funny. But that was a great win for the Lakers. 26 for Fox in the end. The big problem was they couldn't get DeMar DeRozan going at all. He had 10 points on 4 of 13 shooting. The Souvlaki King had 18, 12, and 9. 17 for Monk, but yeah, the Kings just stunk it up. 113, 100, they lose. They drop back under 500. They're 13 and 14 again, I believe. And, 13 and 15. Did I say the Nuggets were 14 and 12? They're 14 and 11, I think. 9 and 18 for the Blazers. I think I might have gone a bit early on those ones. Anyway, 13 and 15 now for the Kings. That is just not very good. And the Blazers, the Lakers are 15 and 12, but back into the 7th spot. All right, let's do an NBA STRAYA approved performance of the night. Well, we've already sort of given half of one away, haven't we?
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Yeah, we've got a couple of them, as I mentioned. Anthony Davis going straight to the pool room.
This is going straight to the pool room.
Wait, no, Karl Anthony Towns. Why did I say AD? AD was very good as well. The 6 blocks, the 20 rebounds, the 21 points. Bloody hell, 4 assists, 3 steals. You can probably put that in the pool room. But Karl Anthony Towns' effort was just absolutely insane. So, credit where credit is due, because that revenge is got to be pretty bloody sweet if you're Cat, right? 38 minutes, 10 of 12 from the floor, 5 of 5 from 3. 32 points, 20 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. First player to ever do that. It's pretty bloody good. And the ones that I mentioned as well, talk about 2 amazing trade for me, please games. Cam Johnson, 33, 10, and 6. Zach LaVine, up against the Celtics, going off for that lazy 36-6-4, 11-19 shooting, 6-11 from deep as well. This is prime. I'm on display. Why not trade for me and come get me? Good teams. Hours, I love that. But of course, the big one. Victor Wembanyama! What an insane game. 13-24 from the floor, 7-15 from downtown. Oh, why is a 7'3" dude shooting threes? Because he fucking hit 7-15 of them. 42 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 4 blocks. He was absolutely absurd. It was like watching him, you're like, what is going on? At one end, he's getting a sick block on somebody and then going up the other end and just nailing a stupid 3, getting a 4-point play. You're like, this is fucked. He completely won that game for the Spurs, basically off his own back. That was unreal. That is also probably going straight to the pool room. That's a lot going to the pool room today.
This is going straight to the pool room.
All right, how about Spud of the night, though?
Spud, 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 it is Spud of the night.
Spud of the night, plenty of Spuds. Jalen Wilson for the Nets goes 1 of 11. He had 2 of 12 for Dennis Schroeder. I am German Rondo. Johnny Kuminga as well, 2 of 12. He had the Scoot Henderson 2 of 11 effort, not ideal. Tobias Harris, 3 of 13. Brutal gear. Hey, Tobias, we need to really get this win against who'd they bloody lose to? Oh, why can't I even remember off the top of my head? Detroit. They got smoked by Utah. It's like, hey, Tobias Harris, we're playing Utah. Can you just give us 20 points? It's like, you got a boss. 3 of 13 shooting. It's like, what? That's not exactly what we asked. Tim Hardaway Jr., though, I'd like to thank him very much because he went and shot a very special... Oh, here we go! Woo!
Chill. Right on my side is my ego because...
Yeah! He shot 3-11. Thank you, Tim Hardaway the lesser, but really, talk about going straight to the pool room.
This is going straight to the pool room.
We got 2 all-time Spud efforts from 2 all-time legends of the game. Stephen Curry, 2 points, 2 turnovers, 0 of 7 shooting, 0 of 6 from 3, a minus 41. His first full game with a 0 made basket effort his entire career, where he's played over 12-plus minutes. Is Steph washed? Uh-oh. But the best one, Draymond Green. Draymond Green. What is going on? 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, and 1 steal. 4 turnovers and 4 fouls. A minus 42. No one's ever done that in such a little amount of time. Draymond Green. That is an all-time effort. All right, so there you go. That is all-time Draymond. 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 4 turnovers, and 4 fouls. That is just egregiously shithouse. We're going to put that in the Hall of Fame. One of the all-time. What the hell was that? What the hell was that? I mean...
What was that? What the hell was that?
You're not wrong. What about Old Mate No Mates? Oh, don't mind this one because it's a bit of a fun one today.
Old mate, no mate.
Old mate, no mate.
Old mate, no mate. Old mate, no mate.
Old mate, no mate.
Old mate, no mate.
Who's got no mates today? Nick Claxton. Not really quite quitting. Just, he's like, nah, screw this. Threw the ball out of bounds. End of the stands. He's like, nah, what's going on? This sucks. So that was pretty funny. Great job, Nick Claxton. That's a tough one to explain to your teammates. Like, I was really angry. It's like, what? Jordan Jeremy Clarkson and Ron Holland getting ejected for squaring up, but not actually punching on, which is amazing. But also DeAndre Hunter having a sick dunk on Wemby, kind of looks down at him. Wemby gets back at him. They both get double text. Now, this goes back to my point that I made a couple of days ago. What are we fucking doing? Jordan Jeremy Clarkson and Ron Holland did not punch on, and they both got kicked out. Like, DeAndre Hunter and Wemby looked at each other and got double text. What are you fucking doing? And then the refs, talk about old mate, no mates, Joey Muzz was like, I will fucking fight all of you, bro. I fucking hate all of yous. He was like drawing at him in the game, got a tech, then got basically after the game was yelling at them. I was like, fucking super heated, bro. I'm like, oh, have you seen my favorite movie, The Town, man? Oh, I'm going to fucking town you up so good, you dickhead fucking refs. I know jiu-jitsu. I'm going to jiu-jitsu the shit out of your fucking head in a second, mate. It was amazing. These refs have got to get a fucking handle on their shit. It is absolutely egregious how fucked it is, where they're just like, hey, you looked at him after doing a sick dunk. That's a tech. What are we doing? What are we doing? I ask you. Bloody hell. Pantsing the night. Pantsing of the night goes to Keontae George, putting Jalen Duren into the ground, and DeAndre Hunter just burying Wemby. Wemby, however, went back and repantsed the entire Hawks organization by scoring 10 points in the overtime and beating them. It's pretty good. The Keontae George one was very sick, though. Jalen Duren just like, what just happened? I need an adult. Better than Bronny James / Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. They're coming for everybody.
Yeah, they're coming for everybody, I tell you. What do we got? We've got a cracking Anthony Black game against OKC. He was absolutely immense. 31 minutes off the bench. He had 23 points, 3 assists, went 8 of 14 from the floor, hit 3 threes, and absolutely shredded. God, he's good. He is just so bloody good. Like, I was watching a bunch of this game because I'm like, can Orlando fight their way all the way back into this? And OKC, I wanted to see exactly how they responded to the loss the other day. And they responded really well, but then Orlando fought all the way back. It was really good. And it was because of Anthony Black. Just give him a bit of runway. They just go, fuck you, Jalen Suggs. Piss off over there. And Anthony Black goes, this is my team now. Look at me. Look at me. I'm the captain now. Very, very good. All right, what about the Magic tweet of the week? Everyone's favorite. Congratulations to our Commanders QB, Jaden Daniels, for becoming the first rookie and 5th player in NFL history with a completion percentage of 80 or higher in 4 games in a season. Okay. Daniels is also the 4th rookie QB in NFL history to have 3,000 plus passing yards and 500 rushing yards in year 1. Fire emoji. Thanks, Magic. And finally, Dickhead of the Week.
Dickhead of the Week.
So I hit on this one the other day. The Hornets pretending to give a kid a PS5 and then taking it away from him off camera and giving him a fucking jersey is still just like, who thought this was a good idea? Like, at any point did someone go, hey, maybe we shouldn't dash a small child's dreams? And then everybody else is like, nah, fuck him. It's like, what? What the fuck? That is unbelievable. So if you haven't seen this story, they literally brought him out as like he and his uncle. And they didn't tell the kid. Basically, the mascot was dressed as Santa Claus, the bloody, what is he? The bee, the hornet, Hugo. He had like a letter requesting a PS5. They gave it to him, a bag, the cheerleaders, off we go. He's like, the kid's off, he's fucking rocker. And then the cameras turn off and they take it away. They're like, nah, it's actually not for you, buddy. And thank fuck someone called this out because they did the right fucking thing and gave the kid a PS5. But Jesus, what sort of backwards ass fucked up operation is being run there in Charlotte where you're like, nah, this would be funny, really. Let's pretend to give a kid PS5 and then just give him a jersey. What are you doing? You dickheads? Dickheads of the week. Easily. That outstrips a lot of other dickheads of the week we've had here. That is just fucked. Like, you're fucked in the head, mate. Charlotte, what are you doing? Sort your shit out. All right, let's do some ENRs right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Ellie.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're
Australia.
listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
All right, let's do it. We've got some ENRs from listeners to get through today before we get into the rest of the end of the show. Paulani, love some good Paulani questions. It's pretty fun. Let's do it. Hey, legend. Thanks heaps for all the rants, complaints about your life, but more importantly, the entertainment insight. Oh, thanks, man. A couple of ENRs. Because the All-Star break is so shit now, NBA Australia think tank, the NBA Cup becomes the finale of the All-Star weekend. Yeah, nah. That means we can piss the celebrity game off, rookie game Friday, All-Star Saturday, followed by the All-Star game, then finish with the NBA Cup. Ooh. So just the rookie game, the All-Star Saturday, the All-Star game, and then finish with the NBA Cup. So I think my point about this is you can almost sort of hit this point with the NBA Cup where we need it to sort of get through to that second week of March, right? I don't actually want to have it, I think, around the All-Star break. And people have brought, like, the trade deadline is way too early this year as well. It's like fucking start of February. All-Star game, though. That's always sort of jostling for, like, attention around the same time as the Super Bowl. And as the Super Bowl gets later and later each year, it's like fucking bang on around the same as the All-Star. NBA Cup just needs, it's like, you got March Madness, right? So you need to hit that sweet spot where it's not March Madness, and it literally needs to be like 2 weeks after essentially the All-Star game, I reckon. So I don't mind the idea of it having it as part of the All-Star game, though, or after it. But the problem is, I guess the players in the All-Star game wouldn't be able to play because they're in the NBA Cup. So it's a bit of a tricky one. But I reckon there's a window like a week or two after the All-Star game. And this is what I was sort of hitting on earlier, right? Like, to keep driving all that engagement and interest all the way through to like the dog days of like January, February into March. It's like you probably need to have it just before March Madness tips off. Get everyone psyched about basketball. Maybe glom onto a bit of the March Madness shit. Because everyone's going to fucking forget about the NBA apparently in the States anyway. Basically, that's what happens in March Madness, those couple of weekends. So I think you can figure out the timing there, and I reckon it's literally the tip-off just before March Madness. Not a bad idea, just saying. Doc Rivers, like Darvin Ham, gets sacked at the end of the season because he won the NBA Cup. Yeah, nah. Well, if the Bucks continue like the way they're playing, he probably won't. But if they have another big flame out, it'll be interesting. I think Darvin Ham, though, flip side, should just keep going around as like the NBA Cup whisperer. Like next year, go to like OKC. Just like, hey, back-to-back NBA Cup champion. Just saying, let's win it. Not bad. Matty O had a good one. Love the recent discussion topics, the All-Star, the refs, marketing in the NBA. He goes on to point on, I'm definitely more into the NFL at the moment, more so than the NBA, most likely because of the end-of-season playoff race in the NFL, fantasy finals time, the timing of games. I can watch more outside of office work hours, more build-up and excitement compared to NBA, and that's clearly the big thing, right? So the more build-up and excitement. So his point is, on NBA League Pass, I'm forever switching between games because of bloody timeouts or ref reviews. Yes! That is bang on. I think it was Viles was on Facey saying, but Jim, FIBA, you're going to lose a bunch of the revenue because you don't have the ads. You know what the other thing is, though? The reviews. The big difference with FIBA and shit is like they're just not fucking reviewing every second fucking thing that happens. And you're like, dude, just move it the fuck on, right? Anyway, Matty O goes on to say, I can never get into a groove of a particular game and just see snippets of each as I endlessly switch between games to actually watch some play rather than reviews or bloody ads or shots of the fucking crowd during timeouts. Anyway, love the world versus USA idea for All-Star. Yeah, nah. Let's go. Starting five. World. Jokic. Giannis. Franz Wagner. Luka. And SGA. Oh, it's not bad. USA. Anthony Davis. LeBron James. Kevin Durant. Ant-Man. And Steph. You can't tell me that's not a fucking awesome All-Star lineup. And way better than the Dogs breakfast bullshit they're going to pull this year. That is amazing. Fuck yes. Oh, that's good. Yeah. We're going to be doing World versus USA at this point. It's fucking stupid not to be. His bonus, yeah, no, they should run the bloody NBA Cup until All-Star, have the final on Friday night. Hang on. This fits nicely with Paul Arnie's. I like this. Have the final on the Friday night. The coaches should be from the 2 Cup Finals teams. Then Saturday, the dunk comp, 3-point comp, etc. And then Sunday, World versus USA. I think we've figured it out. If you want to have it on All-Star weekend and turn that weekend absolutely fucking massive, boom, there you go. And your players that are in the NBA Cup game, you turn that Friday into a massive hullabaloo. At the moment, no one fucking cares about it. Bang. The players are in that game who would be in the All-Star game. They get to rest it. They still get paid. Fucking who cares? That's unreal. And he goes on to say his last bonus one, if they only pay the winning team, defense would actually matter. And Dyson would get a run for the world team. Yeah, nah, fuck yes. 100%. This is still one of my all-time great ideas of just only paying the winning team in the All-Star team. The All-Star game. Let's fucking go. Only the winning team gets paid. Sucked in, dickheads. Just saying. Unpopular opinion of the day.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
So I've had, some thoughts about all this NBA rating shit. And my thing about it all is I don't really care that much. I fucking love watching basketball. If you're listening to this show, you probably love watching basketball as well, right? And we're all about basketball's fucking fun. All the NBA needs to do is figure out how to make it more fucking fun to watch NBA basketball. And the people who yell the loudest about NBA ratings probably don't watch the fucking NBA anyway. Just saying. But the idea is, and my point is still there, right? The NBA just doesn't listen. Reviews and shit like this, it drags on so fucking much. And as Matty O just pointed out, when you're flipping around, this happens to me all the time because this is literally my job, trying to watch fucking game after game after game. And you just sometimes you're sitting there going, why is everything's on an ad or review? This is fucked. What am I doing? Every single review has to be made at game speed and a decision has to be made within 24 seconds. It's an easy fix. Just do it. We can have all these crazy things about, you can only take 5 threes in a quarter that count. Everything else after that is a 2. It's all right, that's a pretty good idea. It's also wildly, disruptive. Let's just speed up the games. Every single review has to be made at game speed. A decision has to be made within 24 seconds. Move it the fuck along. Simple. Done. Cut the fucking TV time out. The start of the second and fourth quarters at 9 minutes? Just piss them off. That's the team timeouts. Simple as that. What are we doing? And then finally, a bit of Outback Takehouse. If you really want to find out the real reason behind everything being fucked. It's Friday at Outback and it's almost Chrissy, so you better load up on these icy cold TGIF Foster's Lager tins. They're as big as your bloody head and they go down fast. And they're only at Outback. 4 for 1. Only at Outback. Today's Flame Grill take is LeBron James switching teams so many times in his career is the actual reason people feel disillusioned by the NBA. Because once we started barracking for players and not teams, people had no reason to watch full fucking games. Why watch Orlando versus OKC today, which was really fun, when you can just watch highlights? Only at Outback. I think the final LeBron switch to the Lakers was probably the death knell for teams matter kind of stuff, right? They still matter if you're local, but if you're not in one of the 30 and hopefully soon to be 32 spots where there are teams, well, there's only 28, right? Because you got the 2 in New York and LA, but there will hopefully be 30 very soon, Vegas and Seattle. But if you don't have that locality vibe, why would you be going for a team? The amount of player movement, the LeBron going from Cleveland to Miami to Cleveland again and then to fucking LA. It's just, okay, cool. So what are we committing to? And what are we committing to as fans is another big one for me. And if the players aren't committed to the team, fans won't be committed to the teams. So, yeah, rocking a hard place. Just need to figure that out. All right. Take a quick break, come back with Australian Player Watch right after Hammer.
This is Shane Heel, and you're listening to NBA Australia.
All right, let's do it. The NBA Australia Aussie Player Watch, the Australian Player Watch for today. It is Friday, December 20. We had a bunch of Aussies involved in the 13 games across the association. We had Ben Simmons, Box Hill Benny, up against Toronto. Played one of his best games as a Brooklyn Net. He had 12 points. That is actually his first back-to-back double-digit scoring game of the season. Only his 4th game this year where he's actually hit double digits too. So 12 points, 5 of 9 shooting, 2 of 3 from the free throw line. 7 assists, 5 rebounds, and was just a menace on defense. It was very, 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 very fraught action up against him for the Raptors. They just couldn't do much late, and he was feeding Cam Johnson, and off they went. They got the big, big, big win. He did have 5 turnovers, but he was a plus 15 in his 32 minutes. So as the lone point guard there for the Nets, now that they've traded away Dennis Schroeder, I am German Rondo, Ben Simmons gets a bit of free runway. Josh Giddey missed out on that Boston Celtics Chicago Bulls surprise upset. Out with his ankle injury, but might be back at the start of next week, which is very cool. Josh Green, Greeny, for the Charlotte Hornets up against the Washington Wizards. You're a wizard, Harry. So for the Hornets, 123-114 losers. A brutal game, and probably not helped by the fact that obviously they lost Brandon Spindles-Miller to injury. He didn't play in this one. Josh Green needed to step up. He didn't hit too many shots. That's the problem. 2 of 7 from the floor, 1 of 4 from downtown. He was also in foul trouble with the 5 fouls. 5 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Rough one for our man Greeny. Dyson Daniels in that awesome, awesome game against San Antonio. They do lose it in overtime, but this game was absolutely off its head. The vacuum, the Great Barrier Thief, the Bendigo Bandit. In the loss to San Antonio, 126-133. He had 4 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. Shot 2 of 6 from the floor, 0 of 2 from downtown, and only had the 2 turnovers, but still caused all sorts of havoc. And it was just really fun to watch and a really fun game. Johnny Furphy, Johnny Tins, in the win for the Indiana Pacers over the Phoenix Suns. He copped a did not play coach's decision. So did Jinglin' Joe Ingles. He wasn't out there today, not dressed at the moment. Still coming back from his back injury, I believe. As the Wolves got smashed by the Knicks. The Patty Thrills did not play. Coach's decision run continues in their win over Detroit. Hasn't played since November 10, which sucks. Rock'em Sock'em Block'em Jock'em Landau, though, got out there. Hooray! In the big win over New Orleans, 133-113 for the Rockets. He played 2 minutes. He had 1 rebound. That was his first game since November 27. Very nice to see him get out there. Jack McVay didn't play in that game either for the Rockets because he was down in the G League with the Rio Grande Valley Vipers. Up against Raps 905. He had 11 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. That's good. Good on you, Jack McVay. Do-up, bop, bop, do-up Reef, the Great Barrier Reef. Didn't get out there against Denver in the Portland Trailblazers. Eked out 126-124 win because with Robert Williams, a third back, and Donovan Clingan, it means that, he's the 4th string center at the moment. And obviously no Aussie Matty T, Matisse Tybal, right ankle sprain still that he's dealing with. Same with Dante Exum, still out with his wrist injury, didn't play in the Dallas loss to the Clippers. And Alex Dukas is still out with his back injury, didn't dress for the Thunder. And there you go, that's the Australian Player Watch, the Aussie Player Watch for Friday, December 20. All right, let's do an Andrew Goes Grey Mumber Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence, shall we? I think we should. Oh, no. It was a great moment in NBA Australia State history. That's what we're going to do. Let's do that. It's an interesting one. I just mentioned it as well.
Great moments in NBA Straya stat history.
So, I was interested in this. If we rewind 6 years, Ben Simmons has just had back-to-back double-digit scoring games today, right? Up against the Raptors. Very cool. Very happy. Ben Simmons, 6 years ago, had just ripped off his second triple-double in 3 games. He absolutely ripped one off Noah Vonleh against the New York Knicks, right? Just like he was out there punking fools on the Nuttawading Blacktops. Very nice. He had 13 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. He shot 5 of 10 from the floor. He had 1 steal and 1 block. The thing is, he then backed it up with a game, weirdly enough, against Toronto 2 days later. So he had 26, 12, and 8 back in 2018. Did Box Hill Benny playing for the Sixers. The game before this one that I was just talking about, he had 22, 11, and 14. It is absolutely remarkable. The fall off and just like the sheer, I don't know what I'm doing with my hands every time he shoots that we now get from Ben Simmons. Like, it is absolutely crazy. Because I think the thing that stands out to me the most is the field goal attempt. So if you go back to that 2018 season, he had a game where he attempted 20 shots. He had 14, 12, and 3 in that game against the Hornets. And the vast majority of his games, he had exactly 3 games that entire year, that entire season, Ben Simmons, where he attempted less than 5 shots. 3 the entire year. He played the full season. Like, okay, so we've gotten to 3. If you had to hazard a guess how many times he's gone past, like, shot under, 5 times in a game this season, how many do you reckon it'd be? Because this month alone, it's been 4. Like, what are we doing? It blows my mind. This is 6 years ago. Ben Simmons is only 28. He's not 38. It's fucked. And so maybe, hopefully, with this last little run that we've seen, so we had the 14-9-8 against the Suns the end of November. He had the 12-4-8 back on Tuesday against the Cavs, and he's had 12-5-7 today against the Raptors. Maybe we can hopefully get him back. Just take some fucking shots, Ben. So he took 9 field goals today. He has not hit double-digit field goal attempts in a single game this year. 9 is the most. But it's crazy to think, 6 years ago, he was absolutely kicking ass and taking fucking names. 2 triple-doubles in 3 games. He had 26-12-8 against Toronto, 22-11-14 in this game, 13-11-10. And 5 of 10 shooting. Again, the 10 shots would have been a season high for him so far this year. Absolutely amazing. All right. Good stuff. Let's do a Patty Mills Game Day Baller Game Day Twitter check-in. Let's have a look. We have a Patty Mills. What was it? Where'd he go? I just had something pop up. Oh, no, there's Jock. That's right. Jock is out here. Oh, looking awesome in his sick, big, baggy pants. White t-shirt. That's very crisp, that white t-shirt. And the black beanie. Looking good. Watch the YouTube. I held it up. Looks good. All right. Let's do a bit of a weekend preview. As I mentioned at the very top of this show, a long time ago now, it's a weird weekend, so let's do it. Game previews, game previews. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jim. How's it all going? Oh, yeah, pretty good. I mean, it's like, 5 days till Christmas. Everybody's basically given up on work. I'm still working Monday, Tuesday, but I don't know. Watching basketball and football is not exactly, arduous, so I'll be right. But with that in mind, actually, before we get into this chaos weekend preview, programming note, we'll do a Monday weekend wrap-up show. And then Tuesday, there's a million games on the Tuesday. I'm not going to wrap them all up. I'm just going to do a show on Tuesday, talk about everything that sort of pops off, and basically set up Boxing Day and then into the rest of New Year's and shit, because we'll do a Boxing Day wrap show maybe from down the beach, down in Lawn. But no promises on that one. So we'll maybe set you up for Boxing Day. That might be the last you hear from me from a couple of weeks on this show. I'll still be on NFL Australia, but yeah. So yeah, the Tuesday show won't wrap up all those games on Tuesday, but we'll set you up for Boxing Day and beyond anyway. Because I mean, seriously, if I was doing it on Christmas Eve, it'd be fucking super late and no one's going to be listening to this show on Christmas Day, are they? If you were, good on you, but I'm sorry. You can still do it, there'll still be the Tuesday show that you can just save anyway. But anyway, this weekend, we've got it's a weird setup. So tomorrow we've got Charlotte at Philly. They're 9.5-point underdogs of Charlotte. I'm going to take the Hornets just because I do not trust Philly against anybody. Even if Embiid comes back, sure, fine, whatever. I'd be more if Brandon Miller comes back for the Hornets, I'd be much more inclined to be all about Charlotte. So I'm going to take the plus 9.5 for the Hornets. I don't trust Philly to beat the crap out of anybody. Charlotte have been abysmal of late. They need to show something. Milwaukee versus Cleveland. That's an awesome game. How cool is that? You've got the Cavs 7.5-point favorites against the Bucks, which is, I guess it makes a bit of sense. They got the length on one end to try to contain Giannis, and then they've got the 2 spicy guards in Donnie Mitchell and Darius Garland to try to carve up Dame. So I kind of can see where they're coming from, and I don't mind this one for Cleveland. So let's go the Cavs minus 7.5. The Bucks, they're flying high. They've won the NBA Cup. This does feel like a return to earth kind of moment, doesn't it? Doesn't it? They're playing really well, but so are the Cavs. OKC Miami. Again, OKC are doing their awesome, weird Florida run. They played Orlando today. The Heat, just a fucking riddle wrapped in an enigma, wrapped in a fucking mystery. They are 1.5 point underdogs at home, the Heat. And I kind of don't mind them. Because OKC, having played the NBA Cup 2 days ago, having played a surprisingly tough game against Orlando today, and then they have to go into the meat grinder of Miami, up against Bam, up against Jimmy, up against Tyler, there goes my hero. I'm going to go the Heat plus 1.5. I think they could win that one outright. So it's going to be a weird game. But anyway, like that's kind of this weird setup, right? Like you've got 3 games tomorrow and that's it. And then you've got an absolute shit ton of games on Sunday. So we've got, what's that, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games on Sunday and then only 3 games on Monday. It's chaos. So Sunday, we've got the Lakers at Sacramento. We've got a lot of these home-and-home games, or like the sort of baseball series games. We've got the Lakers at Sacramento. I still think Sacramento should be able to bounce back and beat the Lakers after losing to them today. So let's go the Kings in that one. Miami at Orlando. The Battle of Florida. Miami having just played the day before against OKC. I think Orlando can actually, as long as Jalen Suggs is out there, this is Suggs dependent. Like if Suggs is playing, we're going the Magic. Memphis, Atlanta. How good is that game? That is awesome. Ja Morant, Dyson Daniels, Trae Young, Jalen Johnson, Triple J. I'm going to go the Grizzlies on the road, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Hawks win that. So, look, I'm leaning toward Memphis, but that is a fun game. Utah visit Brooklyn. Brooklyn showed us something today up in Toronto, but I think the Jazz, having gotten a win on the road in Detroit, I kind of like them. I just don't think Brooklyn, unless they sort of keep going, we're showcasing the absolute shit out of Ben Simmons and Cam Johnson to get them traded. But I think Utah, like Lowry, Kessler, talk about size advantage. Yeah, Utah, having just did what they did to Detroit, they could easily do that to Brooklyn as well. The Kessler, Lowry, John Collins lineup against basically Nick Claxton. Day'Ron Sharp and Ben Simmons? Yeah, watch out. We're going Utah. Philly at Cleveland. Cleveland having just hosted the Bucks. It's a tough ask, but I still think the Cavs will be too good. So let's go Cleveland at home against Philly. Boston, Chicago. The return. How good is that? I think Boston have a bee in their bonnet and come out and kick the crap out of the Bulls in that one. Washington, Milwaukee. The Bucks having just played the Cavs the day before. The Bucks should still probably be a little bit too good. This will be closer than you think, though, but we'll still go the Bucks to win it outright. Golden State, Minnesota. Fun game because of these. They've just played, twice in the last couple of weeks. Minnesota, disappointing. Disappointing against the Knicks. Warriors, just not very good. I'm going to go the Wolves. It's a stinky, weird matchup with these two teams and the way they're playing at the moment. Let's go the Wolves. Knicks, Pelicans. Knicks will kill the Pals. Clippers, Dallas. I expect Dallas should probably win that one. It looked like Kyrie was very, very close to going today. Mavs should get a bounce back against the Clippers. San Antonio, Portland will go the Spurs. They're better than Portland. Portland, they were good today against the Nuggets. It's crazy. And then Phoenix hosting Detroit. The Suns, even without Booker, should be all right against the Pistons. And then on Monday, we've got 3 games, 2 at 10 a.m. and 1 at 11 a.m. Houston at Toronto. Houston should smash the Raptors. Yes, even in Toronto. Indy at Sacramento. Really fun game. Sacramento having just played the Lakers twice in 2 days, and this will be their 3rd game in 4 days. I like Indy having not played again, basically since they played today. So then we've got Denver at the Pelicans. Pelicans on a back-to-back. Even if it's a home one, the Nuggets should be too good. And there you go. So you got 3 games tomorrow, 12 games on Sunday, 3 games on Monday, and then as I said, I think we have 14 bloody games on Tuesday. So Monday's show will be a big weekend wrap and then a big preview for Tuesday. And then Tuesday's show will be a Boxing Day preview and lead you in to any other questions I've got. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 games on Christmas Eve. Yeah. I'll be watching a bunch of them, but I'll do a show in the middle of it all and just get it up. So, all right. And that'll do us for today. What do you reckon? Is that good? I hope so. It was a long one, which, we had a lot to talk about, didn't we? But that's it. We'll be back on Monday to wrap up this crazy, weird weekend. Be a little bit earlier than usual if those games start at 10 and 11 a.m. In the meantime, make sure you're following NBA Australia on Twitter, Facey, IG, TikTok, and YouTube. We do have some really fun little exclusive videos out there at the moment, so everyone check them out. What are you doing? Get around NFL Australia with myself and Gaz as well, chopping it up about this chaos weekend in the NFL. Again, also some videos there. And also the Cricket Today podcast. The boys are getting all around the BBL, Supercoach, and of course the Test Series, which is amazing. How exciting is this? McSweeney dropped for the Boxing Day Test. Anyway, Football Today podcast, as well as Hold All Tickets, and of course the AFL and AFLW Today shows. Check them all out. Rate, review, and star them all across your Apple Podcast, your Spotify, YouTube, whatever app you're using, the Android phone. Look, this is all I ask for Christmas from all of you out there. I love you all. Just make sure you've rated, reviewed, starred, shared, whatever. Just help a brother out. That's all I ask. Simple. Big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. Check out House Hatch as well as Joshua De Laurentiis, Fascinator, Gold Mines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa Section, Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear throughout the show. Smash them all on Apple Music, Spotify, Bandcamp. However you listen to your tunes, support your bands, support Australian bands. That's what NBA Australia does. All right, we'll chuck a Cooking with Bainesy on the end of this one. I think we've got the Christmas one. We haven't used that yet. We better chuck it on. All right, so stay tuned for that. And we will catch you on Monday, you dickheads. Have a great weekend. And until then, this is NBA Australia saying, look after yourselves, would ya? And little Hosanna!
Cooking with Bainesy is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
And now it's time for Cooking with Bainesy with your host, Aaron Bangers Baines. Oh, yes, g'day. Oh, Merry Christmas, everybody. Yeah, g'day, yes. Welcome to Cooking with... Oh, g'day, Cheryl over there. Look at you. Yeah, this is Cooking with Bainesy, and I am your host, Aaron Bangers Bainesy. And in this here episode, look, it's a special time of year, isn't it? So we're going to whip up one of my absolute Aussie Christmas favourites. That's right, folks. It's a bloody roast. Yes, that's right. Love me a bloody Chrissy roast. And it's easy as, mate. I'll tell ya, I love a roast. Reckon I'd eat them all the time if I could, not just that once a week and that one time a year I'll treat myself, you know. Anyway, but it's an absolute ripper. Definitely helps keep up this physique, you know what I'm saying. So, look, it is bloody simple, mate. All you gotta do is go down to your local butcher, ask for Silly or Reg or whatever his name is for a roast. About 1.5 kilos of topside should do ya. Right, now then pop over to your soupy or greengrocer and load up on some veggies. Yeah, you're going to need some potatoes, some pumpkins, some onions, some carrots, bit of celery, some garlic, some mixed herbs, maybe a thing of beans or peas, whatever suits your fancy, because you do need a little bit of green on the plate as well. And mint sauce isn't all that you can put on there. So, now, don't be a cow. Get stuck right into this bastard. Preheat your oven to 240. Whip out that roast and just massage it. Massage it with a bit of olive oil, bit of salt and pepper. Chop up your onions over there, a couple of the carrots, a bulb of the garlic, 2 sticks of your celery. Just chop them up all nice and rough. Don't worry about bloody, peeling them and shit. Just throw them in the bottom of the tray. Chuck a bunch of red wine, a bit of olive oil over them, and then bang, your bloody roast on top. Bangers. Bang. Right there. Now, simply bung that bastard in your oven, knock it down to 200, let it cook for about an hour and 5 minutes, and you're laughing. Now, sit back, grab a tin. You've got a couple of minutes here, because then all you want to do is get the rest of your veggies on and get cracking on them. So away we go. Chop up potatoes, your pumpkins, roast them with a couple of carrots for about 45 odd minutes. Cook your beans and peas, chuck them on the side. Get your mint sauce. Look at that. That is beautiful. Oh, you could scull a bottle of that, I reckon. Then, once it goes ding, get your bloody roast out. Oh, just look at that. That is amazing. Now, don't rush. Just like making love to bangers. Don't rush. Let it sit for 15 minutes while we make your bloody gravy. And how do we do that, bangers? Well, mate, you listen to the bloody Paul Kelly song, don't you? Listen to the song and follow the fuck along. Look, you take the bottom of your roast, all the shit that's in the bottom, and then what do, Paul Kelly? Just add flour, salt, a little red wine, and don't forget a dollop of tomato sauce for sweetness and that extra tang. And if you're really feeling up for it, give your love to Angus and to Frank and Dolly. Oh, nice one. All right. And here's a bit of a special extra Aussie Chrissy treat. Because you know what goes great with all that? A couple of fucking prawns on the barbie. That's right, get a couple of kilos from down your fishmonger. His name's probably Vasily as well. Get a couple of kilos of those buggers. Don't bother peeling them, just throw them straight on the barbie. Cook until they're as pink as my bum. And then let them cool. Serve them as an entree. I believe that's French for finger food. Lovely. Now, to sit back, grab another 10, maybe 3, maybe 4. It's Christmas, who gives a fuck? And when everyone's ready, before or after prezzies, doesn't matter, mate. Doesn't matter. However you do it, get around the table and get your bloody munch on. And Bob is your bloody uncle. He's probably your racist one as well, aren't you, Bob? Look at you over there, you fucking idiot. Oh, jeez. Yeah, anyway, and that, my friends, is an absolute bloody ripper of a Christmas roast right there. The Aussie classic. Doesn't matter if it's fucking 450 degrees outside. You can't go past a Chrissy roast. And maybe a few prawns on the barbie. It'll definitely dead set impress the missus and her folks. I'll tell you about that. Don't worry there. Oh, boy. And there you go. How easy is it? Love it. Get stuck on in and have yourselves a bloody Merry Bangers Christmas, would ya? Have a great Chrissy. Happy holidays. Merry Chrissy. Solemn Ramadan. Cheers to your Chanukah. And we'll see you on the next episode of Cooking with Bainesy.